Telangana will pay for the medical education of all students who have returned from the Ukraine. 740 students from the state were studying and returned. Let's just get a few more details on this. I'm joined by my colleague Uma Sudhir. You know, Uma, I think more than just paying for the education of these students is what happens to the rest of their degrees. Many of them are fourth year, fifth year medical students. They can't go back right now, that's quite clear. So what happens there? It's not so much an issue of just money, is it?
Money certainly is a big issue. Vishnu, as you know, the medical education here is going to be much more expensive than medical education in Ukraine, and that's in fact one of the reasons why many of these students opt to go to countries like Ukraine or Russia or even China. In this particular case, Telangana Chief Minister was replying to the, in fact, discussion on the budget in the Telangana Assembly, and that's when he mentioned that the state government is going to write to the center saying that they will be paying for the medical education of these students because there's a question mark over their future. Yes, there is a question about where are these students going to get admission. I mean, it's the number of limited seats of medical colleges, private colleges as well as government colleges that has been a big issue. And one of the reasons, once again, which pushed out these students to foreign shores in order to try and pursue medical degrees. 740, almost all of them are medical students, and Telangana Chief Minister now, in a sense, in his attempt, I wouldn't say he doesn't have concern for the Ukraine students, but he does want to show the center that the Telangana government is much more forthcoming in coming forward to try and help them. In the same breath, in fact, it was once again targeting the center in terms of saying that, you know, there is no cooperative federalism, that it is a very, a strong center and weak states, and that all state legislatures need to debate this particular topic. The Chief Minister, in fact, after the recent election results in Uttar Pradesh and elsewhere, there was some doubt about whether KCR is going to continue to remain as aggressive and as sharp in his criticism of the central government. But today, inside the assembly, he kind of targeted the center, talking about the fact that even in terms of FRBM, the borrowings of the center are almost 56%, whereas they don't allow the states to borrow more than 25%. He says the performance of the center in terms of growth or in terms of the GDP, their rates are much less compared to a Telangana. He once again also spoke about, mocked in a sense, should I say, the double engine growth story that some experts are talking about, and gave the example of Uttar Pradesh and pointed out statistics from Uttar Pradesh and Telangana to say that, you know, they have, for instance, a per capita income of 71,000, whereas Telangana has a per capita income of 2.78 lakh rupees, and that Uttar Pradesh is only, one away from the last in that list. One last comment, Vishnu, he also made a comment on what he called the hijab politics in Karnataka and the BJP, saying that, you know, anyone should wear what they want. What is the government's concern, any government's concern, whether someone wears a shirt or a sherwani or a dhoti, and that is something that he has been talking about, saying that they would use every occasion allegedly for creating a communal divide, and he says that is something that doesn't work well for the economy nor for jobs. And he says, you know, when somebody lands at an airport, if you hear about firing and curfew and section 144, that's not conducive either for professionals coming in or for industry coming in. Back to you, Vishnu.
It isn't at all. Thanks very much, Uma, very much for joining us with those details.